Sister Heidi, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
What a pleasant afternoon in Copenhagen.
Thank you.
I've come to hear from you your story. How did your journey to Islam begin?
I was very young. I was just 16 when I chose to become a Muslim. But I would say that my journey started when I was even younger, because when I look back, I sort of like always sought a connection to God. So when I was 5 years old, I went to become a member of the Scout Union where I lived. And we learned the Lord's Prayer there. And that the prayer became very dear to my heart. So when I was 5 years old, I would close my eyes every night, and I will hold on to my cross that I had a necklace with a cross. And then I would say the prayer before I went to sleep.
Well, they taught you this in the Scouts, right?
They taught me the prayer, but they didn't tell me to say it at home or anything. It was just something that we used to do after we had finished an activity there. And my parents, they have never really spoken that much about religion at home.
What were they?
They were Christians, but here in Denmark, it's not normal to practice religion or speak about religion. So I have been baptized, but my parents never spoke to me that much about religion. They, of course, taught me values, good values, that you have to be kind to other people and everything, but it was never something that was directly derived from religion. So I had this urge myself to seek God.
So you started searching?
Yes. So when I went to school, I always I liked to be with the people that were a little bit different. So one of my friends, she was a Mormon, and I used to went with her and her family to church every Sunday, and I used to really like going there. I used to like the community. I used to like to attend the Sunday lessons, and I like the sort of like the collectiveness that the church brought. But there was something inside of me that didn't really fully accept it or liked it, because they were telling us we are all God's children. And in my mind, I was like, how can God have a child? So that thought repelled me. So I remember that at some point, maybe when I was 13 or 14, I started disliking going there a lot. And I distanced myself also. And it was she was a very good friend, but there was just something in me that just didn't want to go and be with her. And I didn't like going to the church anymore. And then I had I always had another friend also that was Somali.
Mm-hmm.
And she started to tell me things about Islam that I didn't know about. And it was just some very simple things that she told me. Like she told me that our God is also your God. And that sort of like blew my mind, or that was something that provoked my mind, because I was thinking that Islam was something completely different, that there wasn't any connection to Christianity. So she just told me some very simple, basic things, like like Muslims also believe in Jesus, and so that started making me interested. And then I also then I started to go and search for books myself in the library
About Islam?
About Islam. Like I didn't tell her anything, but I just did it in secret. Yeah. And then I also, but there was also like a turning point with her, because I remembered she told one day she told me about Yusuf alayhi salam, his story. And I just remembered that something inside me changed after I've heard Yusuf alayhi salam's story. And when I think back, I cannot pin out exactly what it was that resonated so well with me, but it was just, I think it was everything about the story, that it was so amazing that people, they plotted against him. And
although his story is also in the Bible, but
yes,
probably you didn't know it from the Bible, did you?
I don't remember knowing it that well, or in this way. I remember that I also used to love to listen to Bible stories and having lessons in schools about it. But I cannot remember something specific about Yusuf. Maybe I've heard about it, but I just remember that all of these things that were plotted against him and this dream that he has, it was so special. And then from that day, something inside in my heart, it changed, and it made me more curious about Islam, and it made me sort of like view Islam in a different way.
You took it more seriously.
Yeah. I just felt a shift in my heart. I just felt more open, and I felt more curious about.
And when did the decisive moment come? What happened?
I went to the library in secret and borrowed books about Islam, and one of the book was a collection of a hadith from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Was it the 40 hadith by Nawawi?
It might have been, or something similar, but there were some very sort of like basics hadith, like that God doesn't look, and that he looks what's inside of your heart. He doesn't look what are you wearing or how you appear and what's your skin color. So it was some very basic, beautiful ideas that appealed to me, and but I wouldn't say that I knew a lot about Islam, but I just knew that was what I wanted. And I can just feel it in my heart. So I feel my heart accepted it so fast before my head. And that's why I say I didn't read a lot and everything, but I just felt so pulled toward this. And I started to try to pray at home. And because I've seen my friend, how she prayed and how she made sujood, so I tried to pray at home in secret.
On your own, without anybody helping you?
Yes, on my own, without anybody helping me. And then one day, I just burst into tears, and I told my best friend, "This is what I want. I want to become a Muslim."
You told your Somali friend?
Yes, I told her. And then we went here to this mosque, and then I converted. So everything actually happened quick.
Subhanallah.
Yeah.
This is Hidayah.
Alhamdulillah.
But what was the response of your parents?
They were shocked.
Naturally, you expect that.
Yeah, they were shocked because I was only 16 years old. But in the beginning, they were like they were supportive and saying that's very nice that you think about life, because not that many young people, they think about life this way. And then, but after that, in the beginning, it was quite hard.
Now, why hard? Did it involve a change of lifestyle?
Yes, because I changed many things so fast. So I think I changed so many things so fast.
You should have taken it gradually.
Yeah, I put on hijab very quickly. I started, I stopped I only ate halal meat, and I became very strict in some areas, and I lived of course I lived at home because I was 16. So it was a big change for my parents. They were like in shock. But it took some time for them to.
They had to accommodate you.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, at the age of 16, you probably didn't have much to change in your lifestyle, or did you?
I had to start to pray, and I had to start wearing. Of course, I had to start wearing. I started wearing hijab. So that was some changes that I have to make, but
socially speaking,
no. Socially speaking, I gave up many of the. I was in 9th grade, so I hadn't finished folkeskolen, like primary.
Secondary school.
Yeah, I haven't finished it, so I have some months left, and I sort of like, I wouldn't say I lost, but I sort of like gave, or I just distanced myself from many of the friends that I had at that time, because their interests were so far away from what I wanted to do. Yes.
Probably they saw you as someone different.
Yes.
They couldn't continue the same way.
Yeah, and I didn't feel like continuing their way either. Yeah.
But was that compensated for by the Muslim community?
Alhamdulillah, I had some friends. I made some friends quickly here that helped me, and I learned many things from them.
And since then, you've been learning more about Islam?
Yes, alhamdulillah. Yes.
They have, I think, the facilities here. I've heard from some of the brothers in charge
Yes.
that they have facilities for addressing the needs of new Muslims.
Yes. Yeah. I feel also there's many opportunities here to study. Yeah, I'm very thankful for that. I attend different courses here.
How about Arabic? Are you learning Arabic at all, or is it difficult?
I can speak Arabic a little bit. Yeah.
You learned it here?
I learned it in Egypt.
Oh, you went to Egypt?
Yes, I went to Egypt.
When did you go to Egypt?
I went there maybe 15 years ago.
How long did you stay there for?
A little less than a year.
For study or?
Yeah, just for study, for language school. Yes.
How was it? Egypt.
I enjoyed it. I missed it so much.
Really?
Yeah. Because like I think we went. I lived in Qahira, and it was very chaotic. But I just went to school and back, and the atmosphere in the school, it was very nice. So I think it was a very special experience. But
no disappointments, I hope.
Well, it was very different. Like I remember first time I went to Egypt, I was studying for taking my driving lessons, and I had all the rules in my head. When I was here in Denmark and I saw it and I looked at the cars, I was like trying to apply the rules that I was learning from the traffic school. And I remember like driving out of the airport, I was like, he's not applying to this rule. He's not applying to that rule. And this rule doesn't apply either. So that was like...
There are no rules.
No, there's no rule. Like
if you're driving in Egypt, there are no rules.
There's no rules, no.
Yeah, but in terms of seeing how Muslims live in a Muslim society,
one of the things that struck me when I went to Egypt, it was seeing poverty. So like seeing poverty so real in front of your eyes, seeing small kids begging on the streets, seeing people collecting trash. That was and just seeing people because we live in a more local area. Some of the foreigners that went to study, they lived outside in some more expensive areas, but I lived very locally. And that shocked me, that seeing poverty. Yeah, I remember that.
Now you work in education. You are a teacher, right?
Yes.
Having become an observant Muslim, a committed Muslimah.
Yeah.
Are there challenges in your job, in the way you do your job, or you don't find it difficult?
No, actually, I don't find it difficult, alhamdulillah, because I think, and I also think what makes it easy is that I have a lot of freedom where I work, and of course I get influenced now by the political discussions about that you cannot wear hijab into school. There are some people that are trying to legislate that now. So of course that affects me, because then I'm thinking, how can I work then?
This discussion is happening in Parliament?
Yes. They're like proposing to make so like
like France. They want to do like France.
Yes, they want to do like France. So this is worrying me. That if this happened, then...
is this likely to happen? Do you expect it to happen?
I don't expect it to happen, but just the thought of it, that there are some people pushing for it and want to propose it as a law, makes me worried. Yeah.
Now let's go back to your family.
Yeah.
How did your relationship with them proceed after you embraced Islam?
Well, as I was very young, and of course my parents, they were very worried, like what will happen to her now when she's a Muslim, and all this whole new lifestyles and other things you hear in the media. So I try to focus a lot on my education to prove to them that I will be a Muslim, but I will also make you proud and finish my school and finish my education and do the things that you also want me to do.
And were they happy?
Yes, they were very happy when I became a teacher. They were like, Yeah.
Do you at all talk to them about Islam, your family members?
I speak to them sometimes, but I also sense that they don't want to talk that much, and I think that has to do because it was so difficult in the beginning. So now we have settled that we don't speak too much about it, but they are like, we see each other a lot all the time. So I try to invite my mom or my dad like for different events so they can meet my friends, and maybe I invited them for Eid as well. So I'm trying to, in that way, to sort of like bridge the gap, because I would actually like to talk to them more about Islam. Yeah.
Now, more generally, living in Denmark and in Copenhagen in particular, as a Muslim woman, what sort of challenges you face?
I have, it doesn't happen that often, but I have been yelled at in streets and called things. But that happens, that's a long time since that happened last time. But that's one of the challenges that...
Do you think things are improving?
I don't know. I don't know if they're improving or not.
Difficult to tell.
Yeah, it's difficult to tell. I think that when you get to know people, like maybe people, they can have a certain impression of you when they don't know you. But I feel like when I get to know people, it's very sort of like, it's very nice, because all of the prejudice that they might have against me or Muslims, it comes less.
I think the problem is that in many Western societies,
yes,
they consider Islam to be something alien, something that belongs to other people. It cannot be part of us. It's not us. So when one of their sons or daughters embrace Islam, it's as if they left society altogether. They left the culture altogether. This is the sort of problem, right? Yeah,
that's also what my family, they felt.
They felt they lost you.
Yeah, in some way, yeah.
Have you been to any other Muslim country apart from Egypt?
I have been to Saudi Arabia. Alhamdulillah.
For Umrah?
Yeah, for Umrah. Alhamdulillah. So that was...
How was the experience?
It was very beautiful. It was so beautiful. It was the best experience ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
Not that long ago. Some months ago, I went there.
Oh, recently?
Yeah.
Oh, mashallah.
Yeah, it was...
Mubarak.
Shukran. Allah yataqabbal.
Inshallah. I hope that one day you'll go for Hajj as well.
I mean...
Inshallah. And any stories, special experiences while you were in Umrah you can share with us? Impressions,
yes.
Maybe?
So when I was in Medina, that, I've always been impressed when I heard the stories about the Prophet ﷺ, about his character, but I really felt that I felt his presence when I was there.
SubhanAllah.
And I could just, I felt like everything around me just disappeared, like all of the worries and things that you care about normally. I felt like it was so much in the background. Like I felt you were there and you just understood why the Sahaba, they would sacrifice themselves for him. You can just feel the warmth and the kindness, and it was like it was just, I felt I was so close to him, alayhi salatu wasalam, when I was there. So I felt like I almost felt like I met him in some sort of way. And I felt that people, when they were in Medina, there was such a nice, calm atmosphere, and people, they were so friendly. And it also reminded me of all the stories that I heard about the Ansar and Al-Muhajirin when they came to Medina, how they helped each other and how they were brothers and sisters. And that atmosphere, I could just feel that atmosphere when I was there.
I'm sure that the feeling you had is most probably because you've already studied a little bit about that part of that period of time.
Yes.
You must have read the seerah or something.
Yes, and it was also very. It was something else to see the places that you have heard about in the seerah. Like we went to Uhud and saw the mountains, which was also very special. And then when we were in Mecca, we climbed Jabal Nur. And you just thought, okay, wow, the Prophet has been so strong that he climbed this place so far away from, like, when we were in Jabal Nur, we couldn't see the Kaaba, and it was such a long walk. So we went to the mountain by car, and then we walked up the mountain, and then we were tired. But imagine that you also have to go all the way from Mecca to the mountain itself. It was just amazing thinking.
And he did that every Ramadan, sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Yeah, just amazing thinking how strong people used to be.
Well, Sister Heidi, it's really been a great pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. It's also been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you for coming today. Thank you.
Thank you.